Crosby from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Sonami. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives a run of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the
10-year season. A1 did it. Just looks great. He doesn't believe I thank him each week for that, but if he watches the show, thank you again, Anthony Veltri. And he's away right now in the Shenandoah Valley. All of you can research where that is. And thanks for watching another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the Municipal Building in Bethel Park. We appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier, No Chip Hayner. We got Nick Callis, and we got Anthony Piano right here. He's not going to be A2 tonight because we don't have A1. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, Greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate you watching our show, and we have a lot of great sports to talk to you about. Thank you for all the Facebook likes. We're at 6930. And we got a few promos to put out there for you. And we'll start with right now. And we got Ryan for the first time doing audio, video, and camera work. Let's see what he does on this autofocus. Look at that by Ryan.
Great job.
He's the third one from A1, A2. They're autofocus kings. And look how good it looks. 412-831-1900. Olive Oils at Hillcrest Shopping Center, 5 minutes away. They sponsor our show with an XL pepperoni pizza, which is delish, and a steak hoagie cut in 6 slices. So we appreciate them. Check out all their Italian food, desserts, even Italian ice when it's coming up. We got a little warmer day today in the 60s, and there was some sunshine out there as I came into the studio. So I appreciate that. So check it out. Next up, we'll see what Ryan does again. He's on fire in that control room. Look at that. Nice little slow motion with us. Right on the money. Look at that, going for the green with Levine in his shirt. Can't beat it.
Cha-ching.
Stay Joey strong. We end each show. Poor Joey died of DIPG, the dreaded brain cancer, at 8 years old, a month before his 9th birthday, 7 years ago. The family, instead of being down and depressed, went out and raised money. They started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. It's a 501c3. And if you've been watching our show, you know Smoking Jim didn't know what the heck that was. And now he does. You can get a deduction with whatever you donate, from $1 to $1,000. You can get a deduction on your tax form, which don't call Smoking Jim because supposedly he doesn't earn anything or file taxes. I'm just saying, I'm just the messenger. And they do great events. They have their big event in September, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Superhero 5K 1 mile run walk. And they dress as superheroes. They raise their most money for that event. Somehow Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, and BPTV film that every year. So come on out this year. We'll get the date in September for you. And it's always a great time. They got sponsors, they got vendors, they got things you can buy, drink, eat, and you name it. They even have DJ Scar, who's from Bethel Park, playing all kind of great music. Got some more details for you. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. I already know Ryan can do it. Look at how he set this up. Step at a time. There he is. And you can see Anthony Piono in his white outfit. Just
White
looking- We got the white out on this side, white and green. And always be smiling. The B stands for Bennett. He died of complications due to health issues. He was handicapped, had 2 kidney transplants. His dad, Dean, gave him a kidney, and he lived to 16 and a half, and finally he was always smiling, just couldn't make it, and he died. And they started this Always Be Smiling, a 501c3. This Kristen and his dad, Dean, and they wanted to raise 1,000 likes on their page because they help others, and somehow I was able to do it with all my friends. Thank all of you for liking Always Be Smiling. If you got invites and you're still liking it, which you are, thank you. We're over 1,100 likes, and they give money to kids and families who are getting kidney transplants. So they actually do good things for others in our community. So it's a great little Facebook page and a fundraiser that they do constantly there. So check them out. Always Be Smiling. Next up, local 501c3. We good? Oh, there we are. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. Again, everything's about 5 minutes away from here. They got the red and white trolley, and that's truly a trolley, not a T, for all you younger folks that just know the T. And it's an old schoolhouse, 1905 original schoolhouse. It's been refurbished from the basement where they had coal in it to one time to everything else through all the way on the top floor. The Community Foundation, where I'm a trustee, now they have an auditorium, nice size room-filled auditorium there that we gave money to. So new windows, new roof, you name it, been refurbished. It's a great venue, has great uniforms from the military. They have a great library. They got yearbooks of every year from Bethel Park High School, so you can check it out. They do events. They have an artist there. They have a dance studio. They have my favorite tea place, Reginald's Coffee, and they have the greatest coffee in the neighborhood with their own roaster. They get worldwide coffee imported, and then they make their own roasted coffee that friends of mine tell me, forget about Dunkin', forget about Starbucks, forget about anybody else. Go to Reginald's Coffee. Tell them Al Levine, the talking machine, sent you there. And I don't like coffee, but it smells great to me. Not a good taste. I'll stick with my green tea to stay healthy. That's my story on that. Next up, a friend of mine asked me to do a good deed and talk to a lady that had a 17% kidney function, which mine was at 15%, and I needed a kidney transplant, and I got a living donor, my son. That's my hero, and my kidney's doing well. Well, she needed a kidney, and her doctor said to try to get a living donor because that's the best way to go. And so she made a flyer up for me, and there she is. That's Kathleen. We're friends with her. She watches the show. Sometimes she goes on Facebook, likes some of the things I post. She wanted to know, what's that loose leaf green tea weather report all about? So, unlike Smokin' Jim, I explained it to her, and she understood. So, we'll see what happens with her living donor as her kidney function gets worse, because that's going to happen. We will know who her donor is. She got a donor, but she can't tell right now until it happens. So, we'll wait and see. Way to go. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have some fun at my expense, and I don't mind. Smokin' Jim learned about Uncle Sam. Guess whose face is on Uncle Sam? And for all of you that don't realize, Uncle Sam is an icon of the United States of America. Been around for over almost 200 years as an icon.
You just found that out.
Yeah.
What are you clapping about?
Here, I got to do a disclaimer with Smokin' Jim clapping. He went to Gateway school system, and he brags about them for sports, not education. And I'm not disrespecting anybody that's got degrees. We've never seen his degree or uniform from Gateway. So we don't know what he did there, but supposedly he was legendary. No, I want you for BPTV. You can be like Nick. You can be like Anthony. You can be like Ryan, who's running cameras, audio, video, and doing whatever we're asking. Nick's been ordering them around like a sergeant, and he's been doing a great job. He's told them what to do from the beginning to getting the show started. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. That's not a bad thing. Somebody's allowed to take charge. See, and that's what you can do. You can disagree with the host of a show, and you can work here too. If you're in high school, come on out. We might have a couple new interns coming here, but check it out. You can learn to run cameras, audio, video. Look what Ryan's doing. He's running the whole show, and we're putting it on Facebook Live. I haven't got to my Facebook Live yet, so I'll check out to see who's watching us, but we appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching, just trying to entertain you. But give a call, 412-831-3304. We could use volunteers, because like today, A1 is on vacation.
Oh,
And he's going to be gone for 2 weeks.
we're struggling now.
And I'll just share this because this is a personal thing. He does a great job, but he was worried what we were going to do. Now, I told him, I have an award-winning show for 10 years. And I was respectful. I told him, we did very well before you. We're doing well with you. And when you're not here, we'll do well without you.
I was worried too.
Well, Smoking Jim's just an entertainer. His worry is such a fake facade that it's not even dealt in any reality. Yeah, there's not even any reality to
Real
that.
scared.
My thing is just come here, volunteer. We'll get you in here. You can be in charge like Nick was and is, and somehow he doesn't appreciate that. But I thank you. Let me thank you again. Thank you.
Does that make me the new captain? The
No.
captain.
No, you're just the guy with a good haircut.
Captain
right now.
Callis. Yeah.
Lieutenant.
All right, next segment. Those two we're going to have to separate. It's not working out well. All right, Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you from $100 to $5,000 for your organization or group in Bethel Park doing great things. Just get an application at bpcf.org. I'm a trustee on the board. We meet once every 2 months, and we can check out what you want to do in the neighborhood. We've given out over $1 million or $25 million in 26 years. So you can just come on out here and get an application, and we can give you some money to do great things in Bethel Park. So check it out. All right, we got what's up right now is what's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
There you go.
you got to see Levine. Hey, I tell you what, man, I'm honored, man. Got my first laptop. I was going to get a Dell laptop,
Who
but
suggested it?
Al Levine, the talking machine, and Nick and the MVP.
He forgets his name, Gallus.
But
I wanted to make the comedic decision.
I got so many D's and when I was in school, and I didn't get too many A's, so I got the Apple, man. A for Apple, and they tell me I can almost do anything with this bad boy. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yes.
What year did Sidney Crosby come in the league? I was just
2006.
2000.
I think 14 years ago.
14 years ago, and he's still 200 goals behind Ovechkin, huh?
Hey, Smoking Jim. Hey, Smoking Jim.
Y'all still think he's as good as Ovechkin?
Let me explain something to all
You're
your.
in the minority.
Let me explain.
I know how that feels.
Well, Smoking Jim, I have to do the first disclaimer because the reason I do these disclaimers is because his opinion is his own. It's not of the studio or our show. And I have a segment that's going to be what's on my mind about Sidney Crosby and how many points he scored. And I'm just going to do a little tease. Ovechkin, listen to this. Smoking Jim's bragging that I don't know much about hockey. Ovechkin with his 675 goals, he's only 3 points ahead of Sid with 1,403 points. So how funny is your
Well,
comment
he got
now?
over 700 goals.
Okay, well then,
Counting the one he got against the Penguins this past
yeah,
Saturday.
but here's what's so funny. Total points in the league. You can do math. Crosby has 1,400,
That's pretty good.
and Ovechkin's so great, right?
The greatest.
He has 1,403,
Wow.
and they got in the same time.
Wow.
I'll give you my information after he's done yucking.
Well, all I know is that
That's not enough.
the Penguins look a little tired to me. They lost 4 out of the last 5 games. And
Another disclaimer. Smoking Jim, there's like
Don't they look
82.
tired?
There's 82 games in a season, and with all of us knowing sports, we'd rather have our teams do better at the end of the year. But the Penguins played so great at the beginning of the year. Smoking Jim's right, because he's a great critic of anything and everyone successful.
Smoking Jim just found out the Penguins lost 4 of their last 5 a minute ago. I saw the schedule.
Right.
Well, something else I just found out a minute ago.
The Pirates
got
lost.
beat. But hey, I'm gonna wind it up with this.
I
on
hope
a
so,
serious-
because you went.
On a serious note, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, only 24 years old. I'll tell you what, in college he probably set a record that'll never be broken. I didn't think Dan Marino's Pitt record of 37 touchdowns would ever be broken. Took 40 years for somebody to break that record. Haskins threw 50 touchdowns in one season, which is a Big Ten record, not only Ohio
Who'd he
State
play
record,
for?
Ohio State,
Yeah.
and where they only play black quarterbacks. And I tell you,
Disclaimer.
I tell you what. Well, Joe Burrow should have been the starter there, but I don't think that record will
Was
ever
that
be broken.
reverse discrimination?
Yeah, it's a shame.
You didn't talk about it till now.
That's why I don't go to Columbus.
You didn't talk about it till now, so I think you're slacking. I think you're getting tired in the sports world.
But I tell you what, I think that he had a chance to maybe be the Steelers' starting quarterback this year. I judge quarterbacks by how beautiful their wife is, and he had a beautiful wife, just like Baker Mayfield. But just the one thing with his wife, not only was her dad and her uncle played in the NBA, her sister was the number 4 pick 2 years ago in the WNBA. Her mom was a professional basketball player, and she was a great basketball player. So just imagine if those two would have had a kid, he'd have been a great, great player. And rest in peace,
Smoking
Dwayne
Jim, how'd
Haskins.
you become an expert on birth?
I thought they had a child.
I thought they did have a daughter.
Yeah.
I thought they did. I couldn't get it confirmed, though.
So Smoking Jim,
Oh,
with your
no.
great analysis, not to make fun of it, because we got disclaimers on race and sports and everything else
I'm
here.
uncomfortable.
Because, yeah, you talk about an awkward moment. Buddy, all the stuff you gave about her family, this was about Dwayne Haskins.
Well, we already know he's an NFL player, and I was just saying.
Well, he
look
just
at her.
passed.
Yeah.
No, but my point is he just passed.
But look at her side of the family, and them two together. That would have been one great.
Well, that's probably what they said about you. You know, I'm just trying to find some of your friends that said that. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to stop with this because Smoking Jim, you went so far out there, but our prayers are for Dwayne Haskins and his
Amen.
family,
Amen.
truly. And to die a month before your 25th birthday under unusual circumstances, we still don't know exactly why he was on the highway at that hour of the day. So that's a mystery too.
What time was it?
6:30.
It was when you're going to bed.
Yes. Oh,
I get in at 6 days a week. Yeah.
Understand. I'm glad we got through that segment. Thanks, Smoking Jim. Hey, thanks, Ralph, for watching. Thanks for Anthony Veltri. Hello, everyone in the BPTV studios from Virginia.
he's in the
All
hot
right.
tub.
Ralph
He's in
and
the hot tub.
Anthony.
He had it there. And then thanks for Keith Appenrod, a friend of mine in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, originally from Brentwood. He's down there. Pete Kasich is watching too. And Ralph gave us the final score, Cubs 2, Pirates 1. So we're updated on that, whoever might be watching. Here's Tony from Chick-fil-A has a comment. Hold steady, hold your computer up. Did they have Apple at Gateway when Smokin' Jim was there? Tony, he can't answer that.
What a question!
Because here's why it's so great. He just found out about Apple because one of his sweeties, Tony, told him that she has an Apple.
Thanks, Marie.
This man has an Apple phone, has an iPhone, did not know
About a Mac.
that Apple produced laptops.
No, I know.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Technology!
let me go back in a little bit in history why I question this. I told him I worked at the Pittsburgh Press building on 34 Boulevard of the Allies, and Smokin' Jim, we just had met. It was in 2011. I only knew him for weeks. And he goes, I worked in the IBM building right near where the Post-Gazette was. And I'm like, that's the U.S. Iron Workers building now. He goes, yeah, but I worked there 18 years till they threw us all out and got rid of the building. And I'm like, what'd you do? He can explain it because I thought he was involved in technology. He's anti-technology. All right, we're gonna move on. Nick Callis, what's on your mind after all that?
Well, I'll talk about Dwayne Haskins later, but every comment that Al made, I support. Every comment Smokin' Jim made, I don't support. That's not abnormal. I also taught Smokin' Jim how to use a laptop today.
Yes.
Smokin' Jim showed up 2 hours early. I come in after dinner, got my dinner, and I'm just like, oh, there's a dent in the car outside. The white SUV. I recognize that car. There's no way he's here this early. There's no way.
Hold it. Anthony said, and Ryan, they go, you got to go in there. There's a surprise for you. I didn't want to go in. I was expecting the worst, and I got it.
Yeah,
And
so
then I got worse news. All the money he spent for 2/3 less, he could have got a 15-inch laptop. What's he got, like a 7-inch screen?
got high resolution. You don't know what that means. Anyway, so yeah, so it's fun, teach him how to use the trackpad and clicky, and
Guess what he'll remember?
I'll remember some of it. I did. Did I not explain it well? Are you going to remember anything? There you go.
Yeah, but guess what happens when he gets home?
Chicken. What's this?
And leftover hoagie and pizza.
Yeah, that too. So, yeah, okay, sports.
Yes.
The Pirates lost. That's really sad. However, watching the Pirates over the weekend and opening series, I didn't catch any of the game today, but I've got some faith. I like the veteran players that I'm seeing. Jake Marisnick was a good addition. Who's the other guy? Andrew Knapp, one of the catchers. He's a good addition. I like acquiring names that I know because I'm a little more in-depth in the baseball world. I know which players have performed well or have certain values. Jake Marisnick has had good defensive value for most of his career. He's pretty good against left-handed pitching, so he might be okay. Andrew Knapp used to play for the Phillies. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We're not going to correct you. We trust you.
All right, yeah. So he used to catch for the Phillies
And
primarily.
you're not using any notes or anything.
No, I mean I just got.
I got one question for you. Brian Hayes.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the extension.
How did that happen? They signed him, and did we sign Brian Reynolds?
No.
And they're not going to take him to arbitration?
No.
I heard they're not.
We're gonna find out what's gonna happen. I was gonna touch on that situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Sorry to usurp your.
Yeah, I was just talking like free agents now. The two additions that they had on at the end of the year. I like them.
Hold it. Here's earth-breaking news. Shout out to Chip Hayner. He's watching our show. Hello, Chip.
Yes. Yes. I love to hear it. But speaking of Chip, let's just take this moment then to clap it up for the first official DH of the Pirates since the rule's been permanent, Daniel Vogelbach, who is the opening day DH for the Pirates, first in the history where the rule's been temporary in Major League Baseball. Love to see that. Anyway, yeah, Pirates editions, I like them. I have faith in the Pirates now that things are moving. The prospects are so far doing well. Diego Castillo, 3 hits in a game against the Cardinals over the weekend. That's good to look at.
Hold it, you missed the 1 point, the first homer of the year.
Oh, who was it? Michael Chavis, grand slam. Yes, that was awesome as well. I like the addition of Michael Chavis. He's not a new addition, but he's a name I recognize, so that falls under that. So yeah, that was
Just
something
thought
that was
I'd
exciting.
bring it up.
No, it was an important part of that game too. And then Brian Hayes playing great defense in the series, other than when he got hurt in opening day, which was the scariest thing in the world. But thankfully, it wasn't a repeat of last year, and his extension he'll be paid while he's playing instead of
And he'll be
being
playing
hurt,
for
so
the next
7
decade.
Years. Yeah, 7 years.
So he'll be playing for the 20s until it's 30, buddy.
Yeah, so that's the extension's a good thing. Young player, pretty good on both sides of the ball, if not great. His defense is wonderful. I think his offense is going to pick up. He didn't do great in the last series, but that's a good signing. Now with Brian Reynolds, I don't know what the heck's going on. I can't tell you. I think that they're going to try to make a deal, but who knows what happens. The Pirates say they're going to try their best, because what's their best been over the last couple of years now? Not great. And I'm not going to blame this regime for the last regime.
Yeah, but the
regime's
only thing I
mistakes,
got to
but-
interject there, last year they said they're going to build the team around Brian Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
What changed since November and now?
See, I can't answer that. I have no clue. What are they doing?
Well, you're
I
in
don't
the
know.
sports world with the fan. I thought you'd hear something.
Yeah, but our sources don't really hear anything because it's not a good situation right now because nobody does know what's going on. Like Brian Hayes, you kind of you worked your way up to that, and people understood okay, he's the young guy. He's gonna get the contract.
Well, how old
Brian
is he?
23 or 4. So he's actually my age. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Young
why
guy.
I was bringing it up.
Yeah. So Brian Reynolds is a little older, a little more veteranized now. He's been around for 4 or 5 years. So I don't know what they're doing. They were apparently about to trade him to the Padres, which I didn't believe, but that was a report from a couple news sources. That didn't happen. So
They weren't reliable sources then. If it didn't happen.
Well, they were credible sources, but they weren't the top notch, the Ken Rosenthals and the Jeff Passons of the world. So I don't know. Everything else. So I like the veteran signings. I like that Brian Reynolds is still on the team, and I like the contract extension. So I have a little more faith this year in the Pirates, just because you got some veteran moves and you're putting players on the team that are recognizable to any baseball fan that looks a little beyond who the superstars of the game are, and that's a good thing. That's what's on my mind.
Wow. Smoking, as long as it's a critical dissertation, go ahead.
Do you have to hit the baseball to get on?
Is anybody going to talk about Tiger?
Yeah. We're going to have an open segment later on.
Oh my God, yeah.
How did they have all the fans come out and he finished 47? And Smoking Jim's one of the most nicest
He did
guys.
that. Wait, did he do that bad on?
But yeah, he's so disrespectful. Here's a guy that they said would never walk. And if anybody should understand that, that's why he's so off the charts. When I had my kidney transplant, he was in the hospital for 2 weeks with plastic inflatable casts, and he had IVs in both arms. Now, here's what he told me. Nothing.
I don't hear anything.
I heard crickets, and I heard him laugh. And now, one of the greatest golfers in our lifetime almost died in an accident. His legs were in pieces. He was in a hospital for months. And Smoking Jim, I don't know, you didn't realize it because you're not into that much if it's not football. He couldn't even walk, and he's black. Did you see him walking on the course, at least for a minute or two? He wasn't the same. His one leg is fused. The bones and stuff were fused, and even his ankle.
I didn't know that.
It was a struggle to go 7,200 yards and walk like he did.
Wow.
So I have the utmost respect for the hardest working natural athlete that I ever saw in my life. He has great natural talent, but for somebody to come back from that, except for Smoking Jim doing it monthly and yearly, coming back to walk and then saying, that's what brothers do.
I have a point to make real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. I talked, you talked. There are two people on that side of the desk that haven't really, talked too much about what's on their mind yet. And after we speak, half of us at the table, you say, when are we going to talk about Tiger, not giving either of them the chance to even talk about what's on their mind as if they're not there. So that's good. Great guy.
That's why I brought you on board. For some reason, you noticed some things in how Smoking Jim is. Now, I'm not picking on him. He's letting me do this because look at what he's saying. I mean, he brings out the race card in each show, and he's not really a racist. Then he talks one of the greatest black golfers in the world. Worldwide, he's great. And he came back from an injury. If you had an accident like that, especially the way you drive, you wouldn't even made it to the hospital. You would have been DOA. So I give him all the credit in the world. And that's my little thing on Tiger. We interrupted what we want to talk about because I already teased you with what I'm talking about. But here, Anthony Veltri said, will Smoking Jim search for some sweeties on his new laptop?
Hey! Yeah!
Then Amy from the bakery goes, hi, guys. Happy Easter. Pirates lost 2-1. And Jim Ellenbogen, he was a great politician in our area on my Talking Machine show. He loves Wildcaught, so he has a Wildcaught moment here. He goes, such hope in players, no hope with ownership. When I sat on the board for Sports and Exhibition Authority, he's a big-time politician here, we wanted to keep the subway under the river and free, asked all to contribute. But the ownership of the Pirates said no, even though they were going to see their team from the subway. And inside baseball, what you're dealing with, another wild-caught tidbit. He likes my wild-caught fish deals. So that's a great point, Jim. And then Anthony Veltri's on fire here. He likes Facebook Live, thanks to Nick getting it going. He said, this is for Ryan. Go Timberwolves. So we're bringing Ryan into this. Joe Board, thanks for watching us down there in Ohio. Great boxing gym we went to.
Yes,
never forget that. Joseph McCown is watching. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Now we can go to Anthony Piano.
Smoking Jim cares about his thoughts.
What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is today is the start of the NBA play-in, which is very exciting. The Timberwolves are facing...
This is our NBA guy.
The Timberwolves are facing the Clippers tonight at 9:30, which is a very late game. And then also, I think going on right now is the Cavs versus the Brooklyn Nets, which is an exciting game. The play-in is going to basically battle for the 7th seed for today, and then tomorrow is the battle to face the 8th seed. I forget how it's worked.
Yeah,
it's like,
7th and 8th.
Yeah, so...
You know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. But
You're doing well. Carry on.
The playoffs are coming up. I hope to see I'm a big fan of the Timberwolves with Ryan back there. Hope to see them win tonight, and hopefully they go far in the playoffs. Lakers lost. Like last week I said, if they would have won that game, they had a chance to make the playoffs 2 weeks ago, and now they are out, which is funny, knowing that they were supposed to be a number one team, and now they are not in. This is the first time LeBron has not made the playoffs since... Well, he didn't make the playoffs the other time, but that's because he was injured.
Right.
So this time, there was no excuse, which is kind of funny.
Well, his main man, Anthony Davis, only missed 42 games this year.
Yeah. And Russell Westbrook couldn't hit a shot.
Do you think that affected him? And Russell Westbrook was suspect all year.
He got the nickname Westbrick.
Yeah. And look at why. And that's what happens when you get all these superstars together that are aging. Old age is the toughest battle you have. Yes, I've been in a battle for it myself as I age. And when you're in your 30s, you don't want to acknowledge it, let alone in the 20s like these
He's still
guys.
good, though, at 37.
Yeah.
LeBron. He's still in impressive form. He's still a top 10 player in the league. So it's not his fault for
look
what
at the shape
team
he's
did.
in. But now what I tell people is, look at how at 37, what's he been injured the last couple years now?
Yeah, occasionally he gets
So
off
that
and on.
starts to catch up that you can't come back. And all of us have played sports, and everybody gets hurt in sports. What do you do while you're hurt? Can you try to maintain that level or exceed? The
Yeah.
superstars all do. And now I think it's starting to just get a little step in there on him, just slightly. And, hey, I think he's one of the greatest of all time. He'll
Yeah,
be
he
the
is.
greatest scorer, and, we'll just see if he makes it. So we'll see what happens there.
This year's going to be an exciting playoff, so if you guys are interested in basketball, go check it out. And that's what's on my mind.
That was very good. I'll tell you, I watch a few games during the year. My dad used to watch every game. He'd call me up, and I'd have to watch a game, and he'd discuss it. So I missed that. But I always watch the NBA playoffs because I noticed a different sort of game than what I saw during the season. I'd see one or two players would be great, and the rest of the team was just there.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
And in the playoffs, I see everybody's there. And they're even playing some defense, which to me is rare. So I'm looking forward to it. That's my little thing. I'll finally get to what's on my mind. We've been 38 minutes into this. We went deep on this. What's on my mind is what I teased you with. The other day, they're playing the Predators and Sidney Crosby, who people disrespect him like Smoking Jim and others. He scores 2 goals in a game, and then he gets 1,400 points. So I'm like, wow, what a breakthrough that is, 1,400 points. And then I'm thinking of Smoking Jim in my head because Smoking Jim's like, Ovechkin's the greatest. Meanwhile, he got 1 shot on the right side of the goaltender. That's all he got, and he plays. But that's all he got, really, 1 shot. And he's good at it. So, I mean, that's like Smoking Jim's a one-hit wonder with the Sweeties. He got 1 million of them on his Facebook account every day. So we see that. Michael Parrish, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Amy says, hope the Pens win tonight. So do we. But back to that game, the Penguins win, and they win 3-2 on Crosby had the winning goal. So when he wants to score goals, he does. But unlike Ovechkin, and Nick will relate to this, and Anthony will relate to it, Sidney plays a 200-foot game. Now, Smoking Jim doesn't even understand 1 foot or 2 foot because he don't use them. But we're talking 200 feet. And you know what that means. He plays defense. And he's good at the defensive part. And what else does he do? He gives out assists.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I saw.
I mean, how are his passes?
There was a goal in that game that was scored. He was charging toward the net, but he decided that the team was collapsing on him, so he passed it back, and the goalie was out of position, and the guy who Crosby passed it to scored. That's called teamwork, and that's where points come from.
Let me know when he gets another 200 goals.
Smoking Jim, guess what that means? Right now, Sidney Crosby is one of almost the 10 best players.
I agree.
You don't even know, but in the sport.
I gotta get you a red nose because you're a clown, man. You're just killing it right now.
Hold it. Here's Tony from Chick-fil-A brought up a great point. Would Smoking Jim use his Apple to research some sports facts? Tony, you're on fire.
You're on the target board tonight, sir.
You're on fire, and he makes it easy to pick on him because what he backs his statements on are no facts. I mean, that's what he does. Like a pretty girl told him she uses a Mac, so he bought a Mac and didn't know Apple made it. So imagine that. All right, that's what's on my mind. We're going to come back in 10 seconds with Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And when you guys talk about LeBron being the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, but when I talk about Ovechkin, everybody gets mad at me because y'all don't like the Russians.
Hold it. Interruption. Major disclaimer. Smoking Jim, you always hear quarterbacks being talked about, but is football a one-player game or a team sport?
I love Gretzky.
Okay, he doesn't understand. As you understand, folks, he cannot answer a straight question. These are team sports. Sidney Crosby excels as a
He's
teammate.
great. He's one of the top 10. He's just not as good as Ovechkin.
LeBron has usually made teams better, except when he uses great influence to create this last Laker team. He must take responsibility for lining that whole team up. So he is great with what he scores. And Ovechkin's a great goal scorer, but like I said, he has one shot. LeBron has many shots and is an all-around good player. He even played defense at times.
Everybody had entitled to their
Well,
own opinion.
we're talking more than opinions. I try to deal in something unusual. Some of you out there deal with it. It's called FACTS. And I'm spelling it because he won't understand that.
Well, here's some facts. Just going along with our draft, we talked about the offensive line already. We talked about quarterbacks. I still say it'll be a busted draft if the Steelers don't draft Malik Willis. But if the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the market for a running back, which I would be, I think Najee Harris is one of the best running backs in the league. But don't forget the Dallas Cowboys got great when they drafted running backs back-to-back years. It's when they won their Super Bowl. They had Calvin Hill, NFL Rookie of the Year. Next year they got Dwayne Thomas, NFL Rookie of the Year, and they won their first Super Bowl.
Just to interrupt you, you like to do it. But did they have good offensive linemen?
They had great offensive linebackers.
I just put that out there because I know you know that. And do the Steelers have great offensive linemen right now?
They got a great offensive line coach finally.
What's he done?
And
What's he done?
How would you
Yeah.
grade the linemen right now?
I think that with the offseason acquisitions, Steelers got two more offensive linemen to plug in there. I think that they're going to be more than serviceable this year.
So they're going to be like the Cowboys from that year, huh?
I won't say that, but I would say.
After they win their first game, will you say
they're on their
that?
way. But here's just a couple running backs that Steelers should look at.
Sorry to interrupt you, buddy, but we
No,
just
it's
wanted some
okay.
facts. We didn't get them.
Brian Robinson is interested. He's a running back from Alabama, 225 pounds, played behind Najee Harris, but had a great year last year. And I tell you
How
what.
come?
Huh?
How come?
He was featured last year. And
Najee wasn't there.
Najee wasn't there, but they could team up again, have a 1-2 punch. There's a kid out of Michigan State named who I really like, named Kenny Walker II. And this guy got all the moves in the world. He was up for the Heisman last year. I liked his fakes. He can catch the ball. But my highest rated running back in this year's draft played at Iowa State, runs a 4.3 40, 6'1", 230 pounds. Got some of the best hands you ever wanted to see. People didn't know Najee could catch. He had 100 catches this year. He's a 3-down back. Brycey Hall. Remember
Whoa.
that name? They're projected no running backs will go in the first round this year. But if Brycey Hall is sitting there at 20, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think you win with a great defense, and a running game, bloody people's nose. Just like the Tennessee Titans, they've been very successful. Brycey
Well,
Hall
will you
could
be
that
in the
1-2
war
punch.
room to tell them that?
No, I haven't been in the war room in a couple of years. So now that the
Well,
COVID,
COVID
stuff
and
hit,
they got rid of the chef, kept you out.
the chef died,
Yeah.
and they got all.
Oh, sorry. May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace, and that broke my heart because they had all black chefs, and people that know me know I don't eat everybody's food because I could be poisoned, but I trusted the brother. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. When I go to a bar I don't go to bars that often, but I get bottled water. I want to be able to twist that bad boy open, man. I trust nobody.
Wow.
No drop, fizz. But that's
I don't even know
fiction
what
and
to
fact
say
from
on
Smoking Jim's Almanac.
All right.
I would not be opposed to a running back.
that. Okay, thank you. Well, so far we know he wants a quarterback and a running back.
An offensive tackle.
An offensive tackle. All right, big three. All right, let's go to Nick Callis, VIP, in 10 seconds.
All right, let's take the jokes down for a minute. Get a little somber because on Saturday I was working the shift in the morning, and I remember we were switching from Kale Berger to Bob Pompiani, and right when Bob was about to go on, he was like, "I'm annoyed today, Nick. I'm going to go on a rant." I was like, "Okay, that's cool. You want to talk about the Pirates?" I later learned. But then Kale comes in. He's like, "Guys, you hear what happened?" I was like, "No, what happened?" I didn't expect to hear what was going to happen. He said, "Dude, Dwayne Haskins died." And I was like, "Oh, that's really sad." And I think I'll remember this one for a while because this was like the first time in my career where like something really bad happened to somebody, like something happened beyond the world of sports that involved somebody within the sports community. And I remember I'm doing the headlines, and how do you go from, okay, Dwayne Haskins passes away, and we also got to report on, oh, the Pirates are playing today. So that was tough. And, you know, so he's...
How did you feel?
I was really hurt. I know a lot of you might have thought that I was exaggerating my support for Dwayne Haskins. If you did, I really wasn't lying. I really wanted him to
No, we
be...
know you weren't.
Okay,
you're
I was
not,
making
You're
sure.
not Smoking Jim.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, but for all of you out there, I was just double clarifying.
I disagreed with you.
Yeah. I was
only because of what he was doing on the team.
right. So
That's the only reason.
the Dwayne Train stuff was legit. I really wanted him to succeed, and I really had faith that he might succeed given more of a chance than he had gotten. So I mean, this is something that is going to stick with me for a while, just because how it affected my
Yeah, I already knew
career as a sports coverage person, sports radio person, and just reporting on it, and then watching the aftermath, and just thinking about he's close to my age, so that makes me kind of think like, man, that's
He only got you by 2 years.
a year and a half or 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, it
So
would have been 2.
so it's just tough stuff. So I mean, always consider too, and the man still had a family, and I believe he had a child. Is that right? Like
That's what I
'cause
thought.
he's
He had
just
a daughter.
He's confusing me over here.
Well, he's confused to begin with
Yeah.
between Apple and Mac.
right. Well,
How could he not be confused about life? Sorry to bring a light moment in here, because that was very somber. And I always wonder what people are going through that have to speak about something so tragic.
and it was tough.
That's why I was getting to that.
Yeah, so I mean that was something that was tough, and I mean we're all just like sad, and people were coming in. The KDK News desk reports that too, because it's not just a sports story when that happens.
Well, sure.
So
It's national.
and I mean I got to research the details of this too, and it turned out to be like terrible. Like like Bob's asking me, hey, get information, and I'm working with the news desk, and I'm searching the internet trying to figure out details.
You
and
mean
just
Bob
learn the
trusts you for that?
Yeah, that's my job.
What an honor.
It's unbelievable. No, I mean, I'm just doing my job, but like, this is just one of those times where it's like, think about the man, who's, lost his life as, think about him more toward, him and his family instead of just, think about him and containing him into just an athlete, because if you care about the man, then you got to worry about all the repercussions of something like this happening, not just the fact that he was a Pittsburgh Steeler or even just an athlete in general. So keep that in mind. And then, feel for, I don't know how to say it.
Just say it.
Like,
Just say it straight up. If you're feeling it, say it.
Yeah.
We don't mind. We're here to bring out facts and our opinions. So go ahead.
yeah, feel for some of the people who are covering this too, because finding out the details of this were gruesome. And want to bring you the details, but like like there are people like me every day who were like gruesomely researching and trying to figure out. Like when I found out he got hit by a truck, I'm just like, oh no. So
Well, they said he was dead instantly. He was dead
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So how tragic is that? You can't make light of something like that,
No.
and it hits you right in your heart.
And it
We
really
don't want to see anybody die. We can criticize people. I can disagree with Smoking Jim.
What day did they pass away?
It was Saturday.
You were saying Saturday.
Saturday at 6:30.
That's why I was there.
It happened at
Yeah.
6:30. By an off ramp, he was out of his car. He got hit by a dump truck.
His car was never there, I heard.
No, it was there.
Did they come out with a later report?
No, I thought that had been out for a while.
No, they didn't. They didn't say that at first because I heard other shows
Well,
saying.
here's why this was. They made a disconnect at first because the sports reporter said that his agent confirmed that he had passed away. But what I later found out is I did some extra digging, and there was a report from a Miami newspaper that didn't confirm the victim of the crash.
Oh, okay.
So you've got all the details of the crash without a name,
Right.
and then you have the name.
You plug the name in.
The name and the maybe where, but just finding all these details, man, and having to work hard to bring this to people's light. It was just, again, this is something I won't forget because I was right in the mix, as it's happening. It's you're the
sure.
producer of a show, of a major show, Bob Pompiani's sports show in the mornings on Saturdays, and it was really heavy, and it was very saddened to hear that, so.
No, thanks for sharing that. You made it through, so
Yeah.
it's part of the process in your career.
Yeah.
Onwards and upwards. All right. Hi to Marla. Hi to Steve Englert. They're coming in late. Anthony Veltri, Penguins 1. Islanders nothing. Anthony Veltri, little side note on your message to Anthony Piano. He knew all that, but thank you anyhow. And yeah, that looks like about it. All right, we'll go to you now. And what's your second thing to bring up?
I wanted to talk about a little bit. People have been discussing the Penguins' future for this season
Yes.
recently because of the losing streak, and they're saying that they're not going to make it far because of the 4 games that they did lose.
Great topic. Go
And
ahead.
I don't know. I just feel like teams go through stretches sometimes where they do bad. Even the top teams in the league can be the number one, have like a 2, 3, 4 game losing streak. It's normal. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I still think that they're going to get past the first round this year, hopefully, as long as Yari stays healthy. DeSmith, I'm more worried about, but
As you should.
yeah, he shows glaring flaws compared to Yari. Yari shows superstar potential, where DeSmith barely shows backup potential, which is very scary.
Great analysis, Anthony.
So, yeah, I think they're going to do good. Don't put your hopes down on them because they are on a losing streak. It just happens. So,
Well, this side of the table agrees with that type of stuff because I've seen it. Like I said, we were great earlier in the year,
yeah.
and we like to be hot at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's when you win championships. I'm predicting that Jari's going to be a different guy this year because he's been in the net differently, been at the front of the blue. So I think that we're going to get past the first round. I'm not betting on it because I'm not like Smoking Jim.
How long is Malkin out?
4 games. He needed a rest.
Yeah, he'll be well rested.
And do I call it right for negative net over there? Why is it always something negative? Smoking Jim, how are you walking today? Just wanted to know.
Very good.
We'll watch how you get out of here. Thank you. All right, we'll be at my segment. We only got 5 minutes to go. Ryan, take us to it. Thanks for the graphic, Anthony Piano. On location, guess what? We're going to the haunted Monsville prison in West Virginia. Smoking Jim's coming to my house. We told him to be there by 3:30, so we're leaving without him if he doesn't make it. He can't be on CP time. Nick's going to be driving, so it'll be an adventure. I'm going to let Smoking Jim and Nick, since they bonded and have done business and done nonprofit work that was truly nonprofit, they'll be talking together about stuff like that on the ride down. So I'll just sit in the back and
I'll sit in the back with the peanuts.
no, I'll be eating the peanuts. I'll be eating the peanuts in the
My
back.
peanuts.
But we'll be going there, and then but we're hoping to have a great day of boxing down in Moundsville, and there's amateur fights, and then there's a few pro fights. And we'll be down there with Jim Frio, who's hired us, and Mike Murray is, matchmaking. So it'll be a great time. And they said they'll even feed us there, so Smoking Jim won't have to worry. And we'll get out of there before the ghosts come out or they film for a show. But we'll be there. And I don't know if you guys wanted to talk a little Penguin talk here with the last
Yes.
3 minutes.
I thought you wanted to talk golf.
Well, I was bringing the Penguins up first. All right, since Smoking Jim wants to bring up golf.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, he doesn't want to bring up golf.
We already talked about it. I
Well,
want to talk penguin.
we'll talk some golf because I have fond memories of going to my dad's house on a Sunday, and he's watching some guy in a red polo. And I go, Dad, you don't even like golf. He goes, Tiger's my man. He's the greatest. And this is my dad who loves basketball. He's watching golf. He never watched golf when I grew up. Never played golf.
One thing I can say about Tiger, he never met a pancake waitress he didn't like.
Like, when I talk about disrespect,
Doing.
how come Smoking Jim's like that? He never met a sweetie. Smoking Jim never met a sweetie that he doesn't think is the greatest.
They never met a sweetie he didn't trust with computer decisions.
Wow.
That's true.
I'm glad we got to talk a little golf. How about that Scotty that won it? He's #1 in the world. He hadn't won anything a few months ago, and now he's won 4 tournaments, and he got a major in. And his putting and stuff and drives, I was watching some of it. Look at how he's holding a club. It's like a baseball bat. He's not going anywhere. Well, that's what he knows about golf, and he's an expert on Tiger. All right, little short Penguin thing. Anthony, anything on the Pens? Go Pens.
Yeah, go Pens. I disagree with Smoking Jim that Crosby's worse than
Shocking.
Ovechkin. Crosby's a well-rounded player where Ovechkin's just a scorer. I'd rather have an all-sides kind of guy compared to one side. But Ovechkin's still a great player. But I think he's basically the same level as Crosby. They're both great players. Can't really compete.
Oh, he only has one good shot, like I said. Right side of the goaltender, that's his shot. Smoking Jim doesn't even know what that is. And there's something called a team sport, which hockey is. Ovechkin's not a team player.
He's still a great player, though.
Yeah, but
He's fantastic.
who does he pick up to make better? Look at what Sid's done with guys, making them look better on his line.
That's true.
Choose a pass over
Look
a
at
goal.
Rust.
And he's
Look what Rusty's doing.
The Penguins have been more successful anyway. So, I mean, that kind of proves
Great point.
they won
Great point.
They've been the 4 title.
We're going to have to end this on Anthony Paiano superseding Smoking Jim Frazier's opinion about Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Great job.
Well done. Well done.
Welcome aboard. So glad I put this 21-year-old on the show.
Yeah.
We end each show with Stay Joey Strong.